Hi, I'm Sia Stewart. I'm the director of the Kingston Public Library.
I knew I wanted to become a librarian when I was working at a Barnes & Noble bookstore. It was before I had been to college. What I loved about that job was helping people find books that they either needed or wanted, and I knew that that's what librarians do. I did consider another career at one point. I thought that perhaps I'd like to be a pharmacist. And the thing that the two careers have in common is helping people. Well, I think it's impossible to name a book that most influenced me. I suppose if it's anything, it might be the Walt Kelly's Pogo books, which certainly influenced my sense of humor. And taught me a lot about politics and culture and history and all kinds of things. But because I find that answer so difficult to narrow down to one book, I brought some show and tell, which I'm happy to show you, of books that I loved when I was a kid, and I also brought show and tell for books that I love now. So this is one of the many books about Pogo, the character Pogo that Walt Kelly wrote. They started out in newspapers and then they were compiled into books. And I read these from probably the age of 6 or so. And what I love about them is they are many-layered, a wonderful sense of humor, but there is so much culture, history, political allusion in these that I found that as I got older, I understood more and more. They're just real treasures. This one I discovered, this is Carbonelle, the first of, I think, 3 books by Barbara Slay about a cat named Carbonelle. It's set in London. The setting is wonderful. The characters are great. There's a lot of magic in this book, and I was really drawn to books about magic. All of the Edward Eger books about magic, there's slews of them, and it really caught my attention. And then this book is not about magic. This was by Elizabeth Enright, and there are something like 6 or 7 books about families, just ordinary families who have wonderful adventures. They are still read today. They are very well written, full of literary allusion, full of imagination, just really great books. I'm currently reading E.B. White's The Trumpet of the Swan, which is a children's book, and it's fabulous. I also recently read Kate Atkinson's book Transcription, which is set in and around World War II in London. Involves a little bit of time travel, a lot of intrigue. It complements other things I've been reading recently in that same World War II setting. It complements the Foyle's War series that I recently finished watching. And I love how those things all come together. My favorite part of this job is working with the community, finding out what people need, how the library can help fulfill, find answers, find solutions for people. And it's the connection, it's the community connection and knowing that we help people that I really love. Well, I would say that the biggest challenge for me as a librarian is managing an operation on a fairly restrictive budget. But I would say that the biggest challenge for libraries in general is making people aware, making their communities aware of what they offer. It's really hard for us to communicate how very much we do, how very much people's taxes pay for and what is available to them in so many areas. At the library right now, we are, I would say, undergoing a transformation. As you may know, we had hoped to build a new library. That project is not happening. So what we're focused on now is making the best of the building and resources we have. And it's exciting. There are a lot of opportunities. There are certainly challenges, but there are a lot of opportunities. And so with regard to the building itself, we have reconfigured parts of it, and that's an ongoing process. As you probably know, we have opened a new teen room recently, which has been a big success. and a very satisfying thing to be able to offer the teen residents of Kingston. But beyond that, we've got a lot of new programs and services. Among those, we are building a library of things, as it's called. And that means things that we circulate to people that aren't traditionally thought of as library materials. So those things might be books or movies or music, and we do lend all of those things, but we also lend board games. We're about to acquire a telescope, and the list goes on, and we will build it. So keep checking back with us, because there'll be more and more. And then we've got some great new programs going on right now too. We are really fortunate to have a volunteer who is teaching a class on how to use an Apple Pencil. We're about to start a new podcasting club, not creating podcasts, but discussing podcasts. And the focus of that club, at least to start, is true crime. So true crime podcasts. It's called Crime in the Catacombs, and it's going to be held at the old library, the Adams Center, and that starts up at the end of March. I'm Sia Stewart from the Kingston Public Library. Libraries are more than words.